Hersh Goldberg-Polin, one of the most recognizable faces of the heart-reckoning hostage crisis in the Hamas-Israel war, has died at the hand of his captors. After enduring nearly 11 months of abuse, torture, and starvation in Hamas captivity, he was among 6 hostages that were brutally murdered just before being discovered by the IDF in an underground tunnel hidden deep within a Hamas stronghold in Rafah. A weary and grief-stricken nation now faces the daunting question of how to move forward against an uncompromising enemy, and at what cost these critical decisions will come. I'm Yair Pinto, and this is My State, a program about current events, my belief in God, and my journey in the Holy Land. And behind me, that's Israel's Knesset, the Israeli parliament, where crucial decisions are made shaping Israel's future. The soul-crushing journey of the approximately 250 hostages brutally taken into Gaza by Hamas terrorists on October 7, 2023, has devastated not only Israel, but the entire world. On that terrible day, men, women, children, the sick, and the elderly were seized from their homes and forcibly taken into Gaza. Among them was the youngest victim, 10-month-old, red-headed Kfir Bibas. On October 16, Hamas released its first video of a hostage, Israeli-French citizen Mia Shem. Mia was shown lying on a bed with her right arm being bandaged while she pleaded to be returned to her family. Mia was captured by Hamas terrorists while attending the Nova Music Festival, where over 360 people that were celebrating were killed by terrorists. A temporary ceasefire agreement in November saw 105 civilians released from Hamas captivity, including 81 Israelis, 23 Thai nationals, and 1 Filipino. Reports from released hostages painted a picture of brutal conditions: cramped, humid, dark spaces with little food or water, no medical care, and constant psychological and physical abuse. Among the released was Amit Shushna, an Israeli lawyer who was abducted from her home in Kfar Aza on October 7th, beaten and forcibly taken into Gaza by a group of armed terrorists. During her 55-day in captivity, she endured severe physical and sexual abuse, including being chained in a child's bedroom and forced to perform a sexual act at gunpoint.
We were held in such inhumane conditions. No person should ever be subjected to such brutal and ruthless treatment. Being in Hamas captivity means being afraid for your life every single minute. When you are in Hamas captivity, everything is just so fragile. You are constantly on the edge. Things can go drastically wrong every second. You are not allowed to speak, not allowed to cry, and not even allowed to comfort each other when times get really bad. I was under an emotional and physical terror the entire 55 days I was held in captivity, feeling like every moment can be my last. Every second felt like eternity, as I knew that my life can be over at any given moment. I had no control over my mind, over my body and soul. It was absolutely terrifying. The only thing that kept me going there was the belief that the world is behind us, doing everything in its power to release us.
After being released, she bravely chose to speak out to raise awareness about the remaining hostages in Gaza. Her account, verified by medical professionals, highlights the extreme brutality the hostages face. So far, 8 hostages have been rescued alive, and the bodies of 36 hostages have been returned home. Among the rescued hostages was 27-year-old Andrei Kozlov, a Russian-Israeli citizen. After being snatched from the Nova Music Festival on October 7th, Kozlov said he was tied up for 3 days with rope, then until the middle of December with chains. During these months, he was subjected to creative forms of punishment. When the Gaza sunshine was at its hottest. Andrei said that the Hamas terrorists would cover him with blankets, leaving him to stew in his own sweat. In the most recent rescue mission, on August 27th, the IDF freed 52-year-old Farhan El-Kadi, a father of 11 and member of the Bedouin community in southern Israel. He's the first hostage to have been reclaimed alive from inside Hamas's tunnel network underneath Gaza. Farhan told reporters that he had not seen the sky for over 8 months before his rescue. Since Farhan was found, troops began to search for additional hostages that may be in the area. In a tunnel complex just over half a mile from the tunnel where Farhan was rescued alive days earlier, some 20 meters underground, they found the 6 dead hostages. Their bodies were extracted from Gaza overnight and brought to Israel for identification. An autopsy revealed they were brutally murdered 48 to 72 hours before troops were able to reach them. 3 of the 6 hostages were expected to be released during the first phase of an eventual ceasefire agreement. Hersh Goldberg-Polin, Eden Yerushalmi, and Carmel Gat. Hersh Goldberg-Polin, a 23-year-old Israeli-American, became one of the most recognizable faces of the enduring hostage crisis after he was taken at gunpoint by Hamas terrorists from the Nova Music Festival. As the terrorists began to lob grenades into the bunker, Goldberg-Polin rushed to throw them out before his arm was blown off from the elbow down. Hersh had come to symbolize the pain and agony of all the hostages still held in Gaza, with banners and murals demanding their return displayed all over Israel and around the world. Hersh's parents, John Polin and Rachel Goldberg-Polin, have been among the most vocal of the hostage families, pushing for a deal to secure the release of all the hostages. The first sign of life from Goldberg-Polin came in April, 6 months after his capture. He was shown in a hostage video released by Hamas with part of his left arm missing and hair cropped short. Speaking in Hebrew, he said he had been there for almost 200 days and called on his parents to stay strong for him. The murders of Hersh and the other 5 hostages have unleashed a new wave of heartbreak and terror among the hostage families who fear that time is running out for their loved ones seized by Hamas in the Gaza Strip. The entire nation of Israel is overwhelmed with grief, torn apart by unbelievable tragedies that have struck us. Israel says there are now 97 hostages remaining in Gaza, including the bodies of at least 33 confirmed dead by the IDF. On the night of the devastating announcement, over 300,000 Israelis poured into the streets of Tel Aviv, pleading for the release of the remaining hostages. Israel's leadership now faces extraordinary difficult decisions at this critical junction. Let the tragic loss of these 6 young hostages be a powerful reminder that we must remain strong and united to overcome the horrific evil we face. Our survival depends on it.
Okay, sweet boy, go now on your journey. I hope it's as good as the trips you dreamed about, because finally, my sweet boy, finally, you're free. I will love you and I will miss you every single day for the rest of my life.
As we mourn with the families who have lost loved ones and stand in solidarity with those whose loved ones remain in captivity, please pray for their safe return and for an end to the suffering this war has brought. Please pray for our soldiers as they bravely fight against this brutal and inhumane evil. Please pray for our leaders to make the best decisions for our people and our future. And please pray for the peace of Jerusalem.
Hello, this is Mati here in Jerusalem with TBN Israel.
This is Yair Pinto from TBN Israel here in Jerusalem. TBN Israel is keeping viewers informed with Israel-focused news, culture, and what God is doing in this land.
Support TBN Israel today online at tbn.org/Israel. Thank you.